I've been working really hard on my finishing and my bullseyes as well, so it's all paying off now.
And being a World Cup champion and a World Cup winning captain, what would that mean to you?
That'd mean the world to me. You know, this is a huge tournament, and it'd be fantastic to win it.
And would put you in good stead going into the World Championship as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, form's a good thing to help through everything, and
45.
Paul and I are in good form at the moment.
Okay, we'll let you get back on the practice board. Congratulations on a really good victory. Let's head down for Bates Nicholson with Rod Studd and Nigel Pearson.
Yes, so Australia have a 2-1 advantage in this semi-final of the World Cup, and Nicholson playing well here. But Barry Bates will be desperate to get back on level terms for Wales before going into the deciding doubles, of course. 2 points on the line
40.
for the doubles as it stands at the moment. Worst case scenario for Wales is to be 3-1 down going into the doubles game, and then looking to level it and take it to a one-leg shootout. So we always thought this would be a very tight call, this semi-final.
45.
But if Nicholson can win this, it'll be a huge psychological advantage going into the doubles.
Yeah, as you said, it means that Wales could only draw the tie 3-3 by winning the double, so gives a little bit of insurance to the Australians. The worst that could happen, that the game was drawn and then it goes to a last leg shootout, deciding leg, sudden death leg. Wouldn't be a surprise if that happened.
No, it wouldn't.
85.
The Dutch duo tonight, Koos Stompie and Raymond van Barneveld, already in the World Cup final this evening after getting the better of a brave, gallant
55.
Spanish duo of Rodriguez and Alcinas,
110.
who really have been the story of the tournament so far. And what a tournament it's been. Nicholson sat on 110.
Well, he can't go out here, but it doesn't really make too much difference because
78.
Bates is a mile away, so Nicholson will be coming back for 32. Bates hasn't won a singles match, played 4, lost 4.
137.
Well, he's put a bit of pressure on here
Australia
on Paul
require
Nicholson's
32.
32.
Yep, so double 16 the target for Nicholson to give Australia the lead. Double 8 now for an important first leg lead, and finally he gets it with his third attempt. Double 4.
Second leg is
Nicholson's
Wales
up and running.
first.
Australia have a 1-0 advantage. First to 6 gets the victory.
100.
Nicholson, if you're wondering what on earth that is on his wrist, it looks like some kind of Egyptian hieroglyph from the inside of a pyramid. It's just a message to his friend TC Tony Crampton back in Australia and his darts club, the Maroon Dart Social Darts Association in Victoria, where he used to live.
96.
Yes, Barry Bates beaten by Gary Anderson in the Wales-Scotland tie
140.
yesterday, and then beaten by Carlos Rodriguez when they faced Spain. So defeat by Darren Young against the US as well. It's just been a disappointing singles tournament where Barry Bates is concerned.
100.
I'm looking to bounce back here and get a win on the board before that all-important doubles.
41.
Will be on stage alongside Mark Webster, Whitlock and Nicholson for Australia. Should be a good one, that.
Both players reached the quarterfinals of the World Championship a couple of years back. Nicholson knocked out by James Wade, Barry Bates by Mervyn King. Lovely darts from Paul Nicholson.
165.
Lovely darts to leave 140. That leaves 120, so this is an interesting leg and one that Barry Bates can ill afford to lose.
Nicholson then. Maybe a ton would do nicely here, just to put the pressure on Bates.
100.
Nicely done.
Wales
Now,
require
can Barry
120.
Bates take this out?
He can now. Double top. Oh,
Game shot in the second leg.
big dart, big leg for Barry Bates, even as early as this is in the match, the second leg of the game. If he goes 2 zip down, difficult to see him coming back, even at that stage with his singles record of No wins, 4 losses. Wales need this. I'll tell you what, if Wales win this match 2-2 into the doubles, it just becomes very simple.
96.
Straight shootout.
Beaten 6-4 by Simon Whitlock. This man, Barry Bates.
100.
Former UK Open finalist, of course, and player with a fine pedigree. And this man, Nicholson, hasn't really matched the early promise of January.
125.
Hasn't really been able to find any measure of consistency throughout 2010. But how much of a boost would it be if he was a World Cup winner going into the World Championships at the Alexandra Palace? Two in here for Nicholson, and that is magnificent. It was perfect the way he just left the room to the right, and there you go with that last dart. Nicholson, well and truly on the money.
Barry Bates will be leaving the room to the right in a minute if Nicholson carries on playing like that, Nige. We've seen Whitlock, sensational form. Well, it's still a possibility. Treble 19 would leave the double. Whitlock has been
84.
wondrous today.
A reminder as it stands, as you can see at the top of your screen, Australia lead 2-1. And
140.
Bates looking to try and
Australia
level it up
requires 16.
before going into the pairs showdown. Nicholson, double eight. Double eight he gets. Middle of the bed. No problem at all. That is a beautiful finish. And now Bates looking to respond. Loser throws first, remember, and look at this from Barry Bates.
140.
Some nice 1040s. Fourth of the match.
He took out 120 in the second leg, Barry Bates, to level it up, but Nicholson is averaging well in excess of 100 at the moment, and the average and the temperature is rising.
140.
Place in the World Cup final on the line, remember. And we're getting down to the business end of this semi-final. Nothing
60.
will be decided with this match. It's all going to go down to the pairs showdown. Webster and Bates up against Whitlock and Nicholson immediately after this game. Holland await.
97.
Bates is ranked 30th in the world now. Slid down a few places over the last couple of years. Nicholson ranked 16 and ranked in the top 16 courtesy of his Players' Championship win back in January. Picked up 60 grand for that. And his one luxury there was to buy a new flash wash.
140.
The rest of it has been put away safely.
Bates needs a big score here to put some pressure on Nicholson, who's on a finish. Tough finish, though it is. We've seen Bates take out 120. Nicholson sat on 124. Would love to take this out, wouldn't he? It's a lovely start. 64 left. Now he will return, so
92.
Nicholson looking good for a two-leg cushion. Bates in trouble here.
Yeah, Nicholson had a little look at the scoreboard, didn't he? Had Bates been on a finish, he'd have gone
41
for the bull route. 14 bull. Didn't need to though, and quite rightly and properly playing the percentages to leave double 16, and this to put clear water between the two players. Nicholson goes 3-1 up, and at the end of this match that could well be the match score too.
Well, you've mentioned Simon Whitlock's form, Rod. The form that he's on, it's absolutely brilliant, but 81. Nicholson's averaging 105 here, which is a tidy old effort. He played well in losing to Webster first up. 6-5 was that score in the first game of this semi-final. And Nicholson played well, and really will be disappointed that he let that lead slip. He was in a winning position, Paul Nicholson, against Mark Webster, but let it slip. 6-5 the scoreline.
140.
That was the only time Webster led in the match, wasn't it? The very last leg. Nicholson had been in front all the way by an odd leg, but Webster won the last couple to pinch a point for Wales. And I'll Tell you what, at the moment, it looks a priceless point, because had Nicholson won that last leg,
57.
the Aussies could have been on for a 4-0 whitewash and they wouldn't even have to worry about the double. So Mark Webster has kept the Welsh afloat with that first match victory.
60.
And Barry Bates just can't find a treble. Big score here from Nicholson will put him under pressure. And averaging 104.5 now. The asset for Australia.
84.
Nicholson hasn't been able to keep up that form from that Players' Championship for much of the year. It's been a fairly disappointing year for him on the circuit. He's struggled really to come to terms with that major triumph back at the Circus Tavern. But this team format and the partnership with Simon Whitlock has inspired him to rediscover his very, very best form. Now that makes a big difference. That 140 would have left 80. Even 100 would have left 120. But Barry Bates is looking at 210s. So Nicholson's slip makes no difference really. He wouldn't have come back in any case. And Bates hangs on in there.
Yeah, good game this one. And a reminder, Australia scraped by the Republic of Ireland on Friday night in the last game of the second round. They were almost heading home on Friday night, and yet here they are,
100,
in with a great chance of reaching the World Cup final, whereas less than 48 hours ago they were going home.
60.
Very true. Very, very true. Could easily have been packing their bags. The jittery performance that first round. They were very edgy. Bear in mind it was coming back off the England-Spain game, and that had shaken the whole venue to its foundations. And I think the Aussies were thinking, oh, we don't want to be going the same way. Clung on, got through, and now
60. Thank you.
Heading for the World Cup final against the Netherlands. Barney and Kostompy lie in wait.
7 o'clock tonight. 4 singles games again. This time though in the final, the best of 15 legs.
54.
And then, if required, the doubles as well. So that's the final coming up tonight. Holland against either Wales or Australia.
44.
And that is still to be decided in the next hour or so. Nicholson averaging 102 now. And that's a lovely start with this visit to the board. Just snatched at that. And that's a lovely trouble with the last start. He's sat on a finish now, Paul Nicholson, to try and go 4-2 ahead. Self-styled bad boy of darts.
72.
And he usually takes the stage in the dark glasses. He's got his sights set on Fat 20. Oh, missed a big number. Well, if you are going to miss a big number, and he's missed another one now, he's missed 2 big numbers, at least he's done it with Bates on 197, so he may not have to pay a heavy price. But, loss of concentration now.
100.
Yeah, maybe so. Bit of pressure getting to him, perhaps. In such a good position. He knows he was in a good position against Webster earlier on. So, 52 needed for Nicholson now. 20 for double 16. For 4-2. First to 6. And he's under pressure here now. Oh!
20.
Well, he put himself under pressure by missing first big 20 and then big 19. Bates has got a big chance. These are the chances he simply has to take. 78 left. He's got to hit a treble. He's got to hit a treble somewhere. Treble 18's the best one. That's not the treble he was looking for. Treble trouble. And Nicholson is going to get out of jail here if he can hit double 16.
61.
43% checkout rate for Nicholson so far. Double 16 the target for a 4-2 lead to go within 2 legs of victory. There's the target.
Not that easy. Oh, he's cannoned into the other dart. 1 left. Got it. Got it. Well, he's a lucky boy, really nice, because he made an awful hash at the end of that leg, and he could have been punished by Barry Bates. That could be a key moment in this match.
And he knew it, didn't he? Absolutely, he knew that he was on the verge of making a hash of that. Pressure shot, he got there with the last dart. And Nicholson now, his average has plummeted to 95. But he has a 4-2 lead. And that's what matters with Australia 2-1 up in the singles, with the doubles still to come.
60.
One doubles match which will count for 2 points.
Well, Bates snarling away at the dartboard. He must be fuming, absolutely fuming, because Nicholson gave him a chance there in that last leg with some sloppy errors. Bates simply didn't punish him.
55.
Disappointment for Nicholson there, so Bates has got this leg under control. You'd have to fancy him to go on and get a third leg on the board here.
60.
But with Nicholson sat on a cushion of 2 legs, but he's favourite to go on and win this match.
Nicholson should win this match from here. He's in control of it.
96.
The formats
Wales should require 161.
Different. Remember, let's just remind you the loser throws first in the next leg. So once you've got some clear daylight, that really does play into your hands.
95.
You lose a leg or two, you're still getting the throw next time up. So Bates is going to have to start breaking Nicholson and breaking him sharpish. Just to hold on first here to get back to 4-3 though.
100. Wales
Nice
should
trouble
require
with the last
66.
start, but perhaps in vain, because Bates is sat on 66. Double 18 to get back into the game. Double 9, he can't take it out, but it's no major problem for Barry Bates, because Nicholson well behind.
Nicholson aiming to give him a problem. I need the treble to put the
60.
pressure on.
Wales should
Well,
require
it's a
9.
finish of sorts, 130. But Barry Bates on a 2-darter here. Single 1, double 4. Double 2.
No
Well,
score.
shocking.
Australia requires
Plus the score goes back to
130.
9. 130 here. This would be a killer.
Yeah, it would, and Bates will be gutted with that, because he wasn't even close. Another one of those would leave him double 5. Snatched at it, and, well, he's a frustrated man, Nicholson, there, because he got off to a great start.
81. Wales
And
should
now
require
Bates back on 9.
Double 4.
Game showing the
That
seventh
has kept
leg
him
to
afloat.
Wales.
Nicholson grimaces,
first.
Bates sighs
Come
with
on.
relief and puffs out his cheeks. Oh, I'm still in it, he says.
But loser throws first, and Nicholson will be looking for a big score here. A couple of trebles now would do him nicely. Can't find his range, he's going to switch down the board. And treble
97.
19 with that last start was important. I wonder if we'll
60.
see sudden death with a 1-leg shootout. Remember, if it finishes level after the pairs, remember 2 points awarded to the winners of the pairs. And then a 1-leg shootout. More like it from Nicholson.
140.
His 7th ton 40 of the match. And you have to fancy Australia for a 5-3 lead here now, Rod.
Bates is
45.
spraying those around like a wayward graffiti artist. Nicholson, who sometimes you feel could start a fight in an empty room, looks like scrapping his way and his team's way into the World Cup final here, because this will put them 3-1 clear.
91.
Even if they lost the doubles, as you were saying, Nige, they'd get that sudden death leg. Australia looking a good bet to take out this tie now.
140.
Yes, and in the event of sudden death, a bull-up on stage would determine who throws first. Imagine the pressure, placing the World Cup final on the line in 1 leg. Wow.
Good luck with that. Well, that's why they play the game, Nige, isn't it? For those kind of moments. Well, he's missed the big number
117.
again. 19 would have left double top. As it is, he's on a 2-darter. But we saw this before when he missed the big number a couple of legs
100.
ago. Bates got
Australia
a sniff of something.
require 56.
Choices, 20 double 18 or 16 tops for Paul Nicholson. Tops it is then, to go within a leg of the match. Double 10.
Game
That's
shot on the
crucial.
A flag. Australia. Now that it's Wales to fill
Well, there's
first.
Mark
Game
Webster
on.
and Simon Whitlock looking on in the practice room, waiting to see what the score will be at the end of this game. I'll tell you what, you'd rather be playing than watching, though, wouldn't you?
100.
Nothing. We saw Barney watching Coach Stumpy earlier, and there's nothing you can do. They're having kittens up there. They're going through the mill, aren't they? Watching their mate trying to get the job done on stage. It's almost as entertaining watching them watching as it is watching these great Aerosmiths.
Absolutely. This is nice from Nicholson. Pressurising and pressurising Barry Bates. A nice 10-40. Can he kill it off here? If Australia go on and win, then they'll have a 3-1 lead.
60.
But if Wales to win the pairs, then they level it at 3-3, and we would go into a sudden death shootout for one leg to decide who will face Holland in the World Cup final. This is nice from Nicholson. He's got it together in this leg, hasn't he? Beautifully done.
140.
Two successive 140s.
Yep, the man with the streaks in his hair,
140.
streaking away with what could be a match-winning leg.
That's more like it. He's looking very, very
85.
calm and in control. Paul Nicholson.
Yeah, very good at keeping that facade when throwing, but I guarantee you, Nige, if
81.
Nicholson wins this game,
Australia
there will be
require
an outpouring of emotion.
136.
And close to Sunderland, you'll hear him back in his native Newcastle if he wins this game. Finish can't be achieved now. Well, 16.
96.
Perfect. Leaves
Wales should
tops.
require 120.
Pressure on Barry Bates.
20 for tops for a 120 for the second time in the match. Oh, what an effort that was.
Thank you.
Paul
Australia
Nicholson
require 40.
is sat on tops for a 3-1 Australia lead. Simon Whitlock watches on in the practice room. Tops the target for the match.
For 3-1 to Australia.
3-1
it is to Australia. Nicholson celebrates. Bates is beaten for the 5th straight time in the singles, and Simon Whitlock and Paul Nicholson are now on the brink of the World Cup final. The Aussies lead the